What's up, guys? Welcome back to Unparalleled Universe for another action figure review, and today we'll be looking at this 2016 Comic-Con exclusive Iron Man Mark 42 from ComicCave Studios. And this is the first ComicCave Studios figure that I've ever purchased, and I was really surprised by how much I like it. So let's take a quick look at the packaging here. It's very nice. On the side it says Iron Man Mark 42, and on the back it says a bunch of cool stuff, like tells you that it's die cast and that it has light up eyes, that it's articulated and playable. Very cool packaging. And when you open it up, look at that, it's very cool on the inside. I was really impressed by this packaging. It comes packaged like a nice piece of like cool technology, like a phone or something. Over here you got some accessories. Down here you have some instructions, and you get the figure posed here. And yeah, it's really cool. Very nice. It comes packed in this soft black like styrofoam kind of stuff, so the figure's in there, it doesn't move around at all. It's kept very safe. It's very cool. This is probably like my favorite action figure packaging that I've ever seen. It was really cool. I was really impressed by it. And now let's take a look at the articulation. His head can only move side to side that much because of the light up function. It has a little bit of tilt to it. And it only goes up and down a little bit. But you really can't expect too much from his head area. And he has a torso joint. Doesn't move too much. You can get a little bit of tilt out of it. And you could also get him to crunch just a little bit with that joint. But then he has this function where you could extend his torso. And when you do that, you could get a lot more movement out of him. And yeah, I think that's a pretty interesting way to do the articulation. Still doesn't move back too much. But yeah, you definitely get a lot more movement, and it closes back up just like that. And on his shoulder here, it's able to pop in and out, but it's hard to do from this angle, so let me give you a closer look here. And so here you just move his shoulder pad out of the way. And then you're able to pull this out, but it's really tough, so you got to be careful. And when you do that, his arm is able to move forward a really nice amount. You're able to get a lot more movement out of it. And then it just pops back in. And once his arm is out, you're able to move it a pretty nice amount. You can move it all the way around without it scraping the shoulder pad or his torso. And you can move it out to the side like this. And then he has a upper bicep swivel. He has double jointed elbows. And he has a ball joint on his wrist, so it could swivel around and tilt up and down. And his shoulder pad, you're able to twist all kinds of different ways and move it to where you need to go. And then for his hip joint, it could come down really similar to like figure arts figures. It comes down a pretty good amount. And then you're able to get his leg up. And you're able to get it back a really nice amount. Then you could get it to the side really nice amount without it scraping up against there. So that's pretty cool. Then he has the upper thigh swivel and double jointed knees. And then his foot is able to come down so that you could swivel it around, and you could also rock it back and forth, and you could tilt up and down. Then he also has toe articulation. So yeah, he has a lot of good articulation. A lot of the points of articulation are very similar to figure arts, but in some cases it doesn't work as well. Like the shoulder joint is really hard to pop in and out, but it's cool that it's able to do that. And his upper torso joint doesn't really get as much movement as like a figure arts figure either. And for his accessories, he comes with a lot of different hands. Here he is with his fists. And then he has a set of open hands that are spread wide open. And then he has another set of open hands that are really similar. It's hard to tell the difference, but one of them is just a little less than the other. And then he has this set of hands. It's like gripping hands, or it looks like he's about to use his repulsor. And then he has another set of open hands that have an opening for his blast accessories. And he has two different sets of blasts, and this is the first one that fit into his hands. And here are the blast effects that go into his feet. And these ones are a little bit bigger, and they're not interchangeable. You can't put these ones on his hands. I thought that was kind of strange. And then he also comes with this little missile launcher attachment for his arm. And I think that's really cool. I've never seen that on a 6-inch Iron Man figure. Maybe they've done it on other ComicCave Iron Man figures, but this is the first time I've seen it. And the way it works is there's this little panel piece here on his arm, and you just pop it off. And then you take the little missile launcher, and you just stick it right in there. And it plugs in pretty good. It stays nice and tight. And yeah, that's cool. I really like that. And he also comes with these little things. I'm not completely sure where they're supposed to go. There is a couple little holes under his shoulder pad. Let me see here. Yeah, there's a couple little holes under his shoulder pad that you could see right there. But yeah, it's kind of hard to stick them in there. I did try, but yeah, it seems like it's more hassle than it's worth, so kind of just left it alone. He also comes with this really cool couch, and this couch was like in a separate box, just wrapped together with the box that you saw earlier. It's not like they stuffed this whole couch into that little box. And but yeah, this is really cool. Now let's take a closer look here at the couch. And here you can check out the pillows. They're actually soft, and it's like made of felt and things like that. And yeah, it's very cool. I think they did a really nice job on this couch. It's a very fun accessory. And you got some metal legs here at the bottom. And yeah, I like this thing. It's dope. And the cushion here is like hard on one side and soft on the other. And yeah, that's cool. I really like that. And then my favorite part of the figure is the fact that his eyes and chest light up. And that's so cool for like a 6-inch figure. You don't see that very often. The light up features are something I didn't really think that I'd be into until yeah, I saw this figure and the Mezco Batman. Then I thought it was like the coolest thing ever. They look very cool displayed with the lights on and stuff like that. Very cool. And it works really good for an Iron Man figure. And you can see on the back there's a little switch that you hit. And then it turns right off. It's very easy to turn on and off. And when the batteries finally run out, you just take this plate off here, and there's the batteries. So they're really easy to replace. And that's very cool. So you can feel comfortable leaving it on, and all you have to do is replace the batteries when they die. And just so you could see how the head is plugged in here, it just actually plugged into his torso. You can see how all the electronic stuff connects right inside there. And yeah, it's just a little plug. And it plugs in and out really easy. In case, you know, something comes apart in there, you could like open it up and solder it or whatever you have to do. But yeah, it's very cool. And for some size comparisons, here he is next to Marvel Legends Pizza Spider-Man and DC Icon's Flash. And he's just about as tall as Pizza Spider-Man, as you could see. And here he is next to Marvel Legends Deadpool and Marvel Legends Kitty Pryde. And yeah, I think he'll fit in pretty good with Marvel Legends figures. And here he is next to Figure Arts Captain America and Mezco Batman. He's just a little bit taller than Figure Arts Captain America. And here he is next to Figure Arts Iron Man Mark 46 and Mark 43. And to me, it looks like he's a little bit taller than the Mark 43. And here's a closer look at him next to the Iron Man Mark 43 from Figure Arts. And yeah, they're both really good. It's hard to say which one I like better. There are a few things I like better on the ComicCave version, like the light up effect. And I like how they painted some of the armor. They did some like outlining on some of the black panels. There's like black outline, and you could kind of see that right in here. And I think that looks really cool. But the articulation doesn't work as good as it does on the Figure Arts version. But yeah, they're pretty close. They're pretty close. I can't really say which one I like better. On the Figure Arts version, some of the joints have gotten loose, like on the feet, it's become kind of loose, and I don't even play with it that much, so that's kind of weird. I really don't think that's going to happen with the ComicCave version. And also, a thing on the Figure Arts version that kind of made me mad as soon as I got it, is as soon as I moved his hip up, it scratched right there when it hit up against there, so that kind of sucks. And none of that kind of thing has happened on the ComicCave version. So it seems like it's a little bit more durable, so that's very cool. Yeah, so it's hard for me to say which one I really like better because they're both really good figures. I'm very happy to have both of them. And let's take a closer look at the details at the ComicCave Iron Man here. I think they did an amazing job on the sculpt, and a lot of it is die cast, and that's pretty cool. And here's some of those black lines that I was telling you about. I really like the way that looks. It makes the armor pieces stand out and stuff. But yeah, they did a really good job with the sculpt. And one thing that's kind of cool when I was messing with it that I didn't know is like there's all these little panels and stuff that kind of come up, so that when you want to pose them flying, you could have all these things coming up. And yeah, that looks really cool. And I didn't know that those were there. So when I was messing with it, it's always cool to find like surprises and stuff like that on your figures. I don't know too much about ComicCave at all, but yeah, I was really pleasantly surprised with this guy. It's cool to have all these little surprises hidden in there. But yeah, they did a really nice job. And I like the way they did the shoulder pad here. It's really easy to use. You can kind of just flip it out of the way or flip it whatever direction you need to when you're posing them. And yeah, it looks very cool. And on the back you got some more of these little panels that pop up. These ones are a little harder to get out, but you got to kind of mess with it a little bit and you can get it out. But yeah, let me see if I can get it out here. Yeah, so it's kind of hard to get those ones out, but here's a look at him with these flipped out here. And yeah, they look very cool. I think it'll look dope once you put him in a flight pose and stuff, like with all those things. It'll make him look a little more realistic as he's flying, so that's very cool. And yeah, I think I'm going to try to pick up some more of these ComicCave figures. I know that there's a bunch of them out already. But let's take a closer look at how this articulation in his chest works. It extends way up. It's pretty crazy. You could bring it up and move it like all kinds of different directions. You could get a nice crunch out of him once you do that. And yeah, that's pretty interesting how they did that. And this piece right here slides up and down. And it looks kind of strange at first, but once you start posing them and stuff like that, you don't really notice it. So yeah, that's very cool. So overall, I'm really happy with this figure. I hope to pick up a couple more ComicCave figures. And yeah, it was dope to pick up a figure that I'm really unfamiliar with because it had a lot of cool surprises and things like that. I do wish some of the articulation worked a little bit better, but you know, it doesn't really turn me off to the figure at all. I really like the light up effect. It works really good for an Iron Man figure. I know it's really rare to see something like that in a 6-inch figure, but it worked out really good here. And yeah, this figure's dope. It really sold me on the whole ComicCave thing. I do hope to pick up a couple other ones. I'm not really sure how many are out or anything like that. I think there's quite a few. I know at least that big Igor one is out, and I think they have a Hulkbuster one out. I'm not completely sure on that though, but I'm gonna have to look into that because these things are really dope. And I really would like to see them try some other characters. I think that's probably unlikely. They'll probably just stick with the Iron Man or Iron Man kind of characters like War Machine and things like that. But yeah, I'd like to see what they could do on some other characters because I think they did a really good job on this. And I really like the couch too. The couch is dope. Like they went like the extra mile with it. It's like an actual couch. I think that's pretty cool. And another big thing is I really like the packaging. No way I'm going to throw that away. It really felt like a high quality, high end figurine that you're opening up. When I was messing with it, I was like surprised by the packaging. I was like, man, this is dope. And yeah, I'm gonna hold on to that for sure. And so that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Also, I recently hit 1,000 subscribers and I'm really excited about that. So thank you for anyone out there that's like shared my videos, and thank you to everybody that subscribed and all that. I really do appreciate it. So thank you very much. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Also be sure to check out CoolToyReview.com. And that's it. Thank you very much. Peace.